Hey everybody, it's Dr. Levi, the gamer's doctor, the eSports doctor. Are you guys there? I'm here, I'm ready, I'm waiting for your questions. Lot to say, of course, lots to discuss, so I hope you guys are ready. We changed the time to do Sunday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, thinking that this may be more convenient for people internationally, because so often some of the gamers and the athletes that are in, the UK or in Finland or Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, South Africa, the time difference has been so intense, that 9-hour or plus difference. I thought maybe if we, instead of doing it at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard on Saturday, that this might be better to help more people. So let me know what you guys think about this time, and we'll go from there. So if you have any questions, let them roll. I'm ready for them. Welcome to the chat room, of course. Let me look at here. See something. Give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. All right, so I want to remind you guys, we've talked about this many times before. When it comes to being a gamer, pro, elite athlete, and or someone who just games at home when they like, it's so important that you really work on being fit and healthy as possible. Meaning, be aware of your diet. As we've talked about, you are what you eat, you are what you drink, you are what you smoke. So be careful what you're drinking. Be aware to not smoke, of course. That's not smoke anything. And to really just value your body. I think it's so important that we all really have a clear understanding that your body wants exercise. Your body wants great food. Your body wants clean air, clean water. That's the bottom line. And, of course, exercise. Exercise is really critical. It truly is. So, with that said, I want to remind you to do your stretches for 5 minutes after every hour of gaming. You can go to the website. Please click and subscribe and be a part of the whole Dr. Levi community about fitness, health, and well-being for gamers. But I want to say this. The exercises are not very difficult. They're easy to do. You only want to do them for about 5 minutes every hour. And the great thing is there's so many different exercises that you can simply do this. And that is, you can pick out maybe 3 or 5 exercises that you like doing that will help your issues. Maybe it's for your fingers or for your wrist or your elbow or your shoulder. Look at those exercises specifically, and then rotate them, and maybe every 2 weeks change the exercise routine that you're doing. So it's so important to remember that if you do the same things, you get the same results. So if you're having a problem with your wrist and you're doing the same exercises, then you want to do something different, because the body appreciates diversity. The body appreciates the fact that if you do something different, it will become accustomed to that, and then you change that again. So it's like exercising. I tell everyone, when you're exercising, rotate your exercise program every 2 to 3 weeks. Don't do the same thing. If you want to get super fit, well, you want to stick to HIIT program, high intensity interval training program, like a form of CrossFit basically, or a type of functional fitness program. It's not simply running, it's not simply lifting weights. You have to really have a very integrated program with respect to fitness, health, and well-being. So I'm going to take some of your questions, just send them through and let me know what you're thinking. If you have any questions about exercise, about gaming, posture. Speaking about posture, I want to go over a few things. When it comes to posture, it's so very, very important that you are at a desk and in a chair that works for your body. So if you're gaming, after you finish gaming, you're having knee pain or lower back pain or neck pain or shoulder pain, and you're only playing for 2 or 3 hours, well, you know what? It may be not simply due to poor posture, but it may be due to the equipment that you have. So if you don't have equipment that's appropriate, try if you can. I know some of this stuff is expensive, of course. I know that. But you really want to do what you can to have equipment that is ergonomically balanced. That's the chair, the mouse, the desk, the whole setup. And to make sure that if you can, I have a great video about the ergonomic setup for gamers. If you go to that video, it has everything in it. I think that'll help you. Well, I have a question here from, hold on one second, guys. No, it didn't come through yet, so just hang on one second. So, but I want to say that. So the key for you all will really be, again, exercise every day and drinking water while you're exercising, and to, of course, make sure that you're eating properly. Now, I want to tell you, I recently spoke to a gamer who was here in the office, who was really, he was a great guy. It's so funny also. He was telling me that after he games, he enjoys smoking after that. And I said, well, how much do you smoke? He said, well, I'll smoke maybe 5 to 6 cigarettes a day, depending on how much I'm gaming. So I want to remind everyone, if you really want to hurt yourself, smoke. If you really want to spend excess money on stuff, smoke. It's really not the way to be healthy. So I'm asking all of you to really consider not smoking, exercising properly, and really being mindful. That's the bottom line. To be mindful of your diet. Be mindful of the things that you're eating, drinking, and smoking. It's really not that difficult. Now, the other thing I want to bring up too, E3 is coming up. So hopefully I will get a chance to do a meet and greet there and see some of you athletes there and see some of the gamers there and the esports athletes there. That's going to be a great time. There's nothing like E3. It's a real... it's an experience. That's what I can say. My team and I, we were there last year, and it's fantastic. That's the word for it. Fantastic. Okay, I want to try to get to some of your questions here, and this is from Flo Nathan. Is having random sharp pins and needles in my middle finger when I tap on my keyboard, occasionally bad. All right, so let's talk about that. So, Flo Nathan, if you're having the sharp pins and needles in the middle finger here, several things. One, you can get what I call a mini vibration injury to the finger. And I have an exercise that I'll show you that I teach the gamers for that. It's literally just from tapping with the middle finger, with one finger tremendously while you're gaming, or if you're a writer or a data inputter. All of these things can cause this. So the bottom line is this. Sometimes middle finger numbness, tingling, pain can be associated with the thing we've talked about before, again, is carpal tunnel syndrome. So carpal tunnel syndrome, well, what is that? That is compression of the median nerve here at the carpal tunnel by the transverse carpal ligament. Now, if someone has carpal tunnel, what do they have? They'll have numbness and tingling in their thumb, index finger, middle finger, and half of the ring finger, as well as they can have pain that wakes them up at night, decreased dexterity in their fingers, as well as what you talked about, Flo Nathan, a feeling of pins and needles in your fingers. But often it's not only just the middle finger, often it's all 3 fingers, I should say 3.5. Again, thumb, index finger, middle, half of the ring finger, called the radial side of the ring finger. So, now, if you're having that feeling, I suggest that you do the following. 1, right after you're gaming, to submerge your hands in warm water and do some of the stretching exercises for your hand. Secondly, to simply massage the area out of your middle finger, of your index finger, your thumb, any of those fingers that are having that funny feeling, to do that. And then the other thing that's most important is to do the gliding exercise. Now I want to turn to the side here so you can see the gliding exercise. So the elbow is straight, and now just bring your hand around for a set of 10, and then back around for a set of 10. That's with the hand open. And now you want to do it with your hand slightly closed, not a super composite fist, but slightly, a slight fist, I will call it. And then just around again for 10, and then back around for 10. And I'd say do 3 sets of 10 and do those before you exercise. Well, I think of gaming as exercise sometimes. So you want to do it before you're gaming. Do that as one of the exercises during your 5-minute break every hour. All right, so I hope that helps, Nathan. And then if this persists, make sure, as I tell everyone, here, because I'm your esports gamers doctor, it's still, I'm doing everything virtually. So it's so important that you go to see your own doctor, to see him or her, so they can evaluate you. And if you're in LA, of course, come by and see me, and I'll gladly take a look and see how you're doing. All right, so I hope that helps, Flo Nathan, and give me some input. So, oh, okay, so Flo Nathan says it's more so in the knuckles. All right. So for that, I recommend the following. Take a look. Real basic exercise. Just, I'll do it from the side here. Just in and out, open and close, round, round. You want to really clasp your hands and tightly, clasp tightly, hold, open. So 10, pushing tightly, 10 here, clasp for 10, clasp again for 10, all right, in and out like that. Now, because it's definitely your knuckles that you're saying, I would definitely say do the warm water soak after playing. That's really critical. Now, the other thing, if this continues, I'm a big fan of acupuncture. I love acupuncture. It's really a really underused, underappreciated, underrepresented form of great therapy. So, and the great thing about acupuncture, I think it's effective just extraordinarily often. So I would definitely consider that too. So, Flo Nathan, thanks. Thanks, Dr. Levi. Yeah. Okay, great, Flo Nathan. I'm glad that helps. Let me know. All right, we have another question from Vatux, of maybe a Virginia Tux. I'm not sure, but Vattux. What to do if my thumb is kind of cracking and stuff? Hurts sometimes if it's under pressure. Also, it's kind of locking. I hope you understand. I got it, Vatux. I got it. So I'm curious, where are you, Vatux? That's an interesting title there, Vattux. So let me know where you're from. I'm curious. So if your thumb is cracking and feeling like it's locking, so locking again of the finger can be attributed to something called stenosine tenosynovitis, or locking trigger finger. So meaning that someone will have a thumb that will actually lock like this, and then it will have to open it up like that, it'll pop. I see this often, believe it or not, in people who have diabetes. I often see it in smokers. Why people get it, no one really knows, and the literature about it is really kind of sketchy about why someone even develops this type of inflammation around their A1 pulley. So locking trigger fingers associated with the A1 pulley becoming somewhat pathologic, causing a stenotic lesion over the flexor tendons of the thumb. In your case, it's the thumb, but it can also happen with the other fingers. Now, if you're having locking trigger thumb, I recommend the following exercise. So take a look. I'll do it from the side. So again, in and out, up and down, to the side, then across your palm. Across for 10, out for 10, up for 10. All right, and then this area here, I recommend that you massage this area really, really well. Now, one thing I found also with many of my patients who have this, especially some of the women that I take care of who develop locking trigger thumb or stenosine tenosynovitis of the thumb, is that the problem, and I say a few men also, if you have a lot of sodium in your diet, which will cause more water retention, I've often found that many of my patients will have a greater exacerbation of the locking issues. So something to think about there too. So be mindful of your diet. Okay, Vatux. You're from Finland. It's interesting that you're from Finland, because even when I opened the show earlier, I said that we wanted to make sure we can capture the audience in Finland, in the UK, in South Africa, in Belgium, Germany, France, because, when I go on late at night at 7 o'clock for you guys, it's so early in the morning. So thanks for joining me, Vatux. I hope this was helpful for you, and let me know, of course. And hopefully you'll come from Finland over to E3 and join me for like a meet and greet, because I can't wait to do that. E3 is such an experience. I really love BlizzCon also, and E3 is just a whole nother level of just extravagance and beauty and wonder and entertainment in the world of gaming. For us as gamers, there's just nothing like it. So just have to share that with you. Okay, Vatux, I hope that was helpful, and you're welcome. The next one is from Walrus, CSGO. Oh, I like that game. So any tips for elbow pain? I recently started playing a game that requests a lot of arm movements, and my right elbow is in minor pain sometimes. I have no sound on, but hopefully I can recreate the movements. I have no sound on. Huh. Oh, I guess you have no headset on. Okay. Well, I can. That's fine. I'll show you. I'll show you the movements for that. So, oh, and Flo Nathan was from England. I have to get back to England. Let me just say one quick thing about England. Then I'm gonna answer your question, Walrus CS:GO. You know, England is one of my favorite places. You know, I lived in France for almost 2 years, and I love France, of course. I lived in a city called Angers, and Angers is about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so from Paris by TGV. And so often I would go across the channel really to England, and I love England. And I feel so badly about what's been happening there lately with the terrorist attacks. So my heart and prayers really go out to the families there and to those who are injured. Horrible. That's what I can say. But I do love England. Okay, so I have to share this. So glad for joining us, Flo Nathan. All right, so Walrus CS:GO. So let's talk about elbow pain. So let's go with a few basics. The most common areas people have elbow pain are the following. One, they'll have pain on the outer aspect of their elbow, which is often attributed to something called tennis elbow, where someone can develop what's called angiofibroblastic hyperplasia of the tendinous attachments for the ECRB, extensor carpi radialis brevis, and extensor carpi radialis longus. Those two tendons, and right where they attach at the lateral epicondyle, which is this area here, which is called tennis elbow. Now, people may also develop pain on the medial or inner aspect of the elbow over here. This is actually called golfer's elbow. And this can be attributed to inflammation from the tendinous muscular attachments that are here. For example, the flexor tendons. So let's go over a few things. If you now also elbow pain, you may also have elbow pain at the back of your elbow. This can be attributed to some of the most common things that I've seen are olecranon bursitis, or from resting the elbow a significant amount of time, where someone can actually contuse their elbow from hitting their elbow over and over on the chair or desk as they're playing. And then the other thing that they can develop is something called insertional triceps tendonitis, which is again fairly common in many of the players that I take care of, depending on what the game is. If it's a first-person shooter game or if it's a game that's with a controller, it all depends on what they're using. So let's go over a few things right quick. I see some of the easiest exercises you can do would be the inertial exercise. Again, that's NIRSCHL, inertial, NIRSCHL. Go to the website, YouTube. We have a lot of exercises there specifically for this. I have one for elbow pain that will show you the inertial exercises. So here they are. So arm is straight ahead with the elbow straight. You're going to hold. So what you're doing now, you're flexing your hand toward your arm and forearm, and you're going to just hold this. And you hold this for approximately 30 seconds. Then you're going to bring your hand up this direction, and again, not just the fingers back, but the fingers and your palm. Keep your elbow straight. We do it this way so you can see. Keep your elbow straight and hold back like that. You're going to hold that for 30 seconds also. So I recommend doing 2 to 3 sets. Hold each one for 30 seconds. Do them in the morning as well as do them during your 5-minute break while you're gaming. And then, of course, do them at night. I think that should definitely help. Now, of course, if the pain persists, then you have to go in to be evaluated by your doctor to see if he or she has some other plan of strategy for your care. As I say all the time, if you're in LA, drop by my office to see me. My office is expanding also, so you come by, we can take care of you. All right, and then of course acupuncture, which I love acupuncture. So, of course, physical therapy also. Both of those modalities are great. Now, one other thing I'll say too with lateral epicondylitis, sometimes we can give you a compression elbow brace. You may want to consider trying that also. You can get it from most drugstores will have them. They're called compression elbow braces. It's really just like a wrap that you wrap around the proximal aspect of your elbow. All right. Now, in that brace you can wear for maybe 2 to 3 weeks to see if that helps to decrease the amount of discomfort and pain that you're having. And what's happening for the brace, what the brace is doing, it's trying to prevent any further micro tears of the extensor carpi radialis, brevis, and their longus at the lateral epicondyle. So that's what it's doing. It's trying to keep some pressure there to prevent any further tearing if you do have a tear there. And the other thing, of course, you consider always an anti-inflammatory medication after you talk to your doctor to see if he or she thinks that will work for you. All right. And you don't have to stop playing, but maybe you want to look at the sensitivity of your mouse, look at your posture while you're playing, evaluate that. And, of course, go to the website, go to YouTube, subscribe, be a part of that, because there's so many exercises there that can really help, our community to be fit, to be healthy, and be able to play a long period of time without any issues, especially health issues. All right. So I hope that helped you, Walrus CSGO. All right. The next question is from Flow Nation. Okay, from England. Great. Yeah, we talked about England, of course. Love that place. One other thing about England I'll say, too, is in London, there's a place that I love called Covent Gardens because it was just phenomenal. It reminded me of my hometown, New Orleans, Louisiana. You have people playing music. People are just walking and talking. A lot of people looking and watching going on. It's just a great, it's a great place. That's all I can say. The museums there too are absolutely phenomenal. Some of the best in the world. All right. Next question. Oh, Vatox, thanks for your tips. I'm glad I could help you, Vatox. I hope you can use them in the future also. Okay, the next question is from, this is from E. Zodia. It says, yay, I single tap a lot with the middle finger while playing Osu. Oh, that's a game. We had Happy Stick on, too, who's a great Osu player. And E. Zodia says, while playing Osu, I started feeling a little pain in the wrist extension muscles and the tendons. I took a break to not hurt myself. Is it worse to single tap with middle finger than the index one? Okay, so this is what I feel about that. That's a great question also, so thank you. I recommend the following. One is that you consider using both fingers, of course, but also rotating. Like some days, use your middle finger. Let's say you play 8 hours a day. Oh, not 8. Let's say more. Let's say you play let's say 14 hours a day. So you play 14 hours a day. So I recommend maybe the following. Using your middle finger for 7 hours, then using your index finger for the other 7 hours. Or one day, use the index finger. The next day, use the middle finger. So the key, again, as we talked about, is diversity and rotate things so that your body doesn't get the same constant hit of using that same finger to tap, tap, tap. Because it's clear to me that that gamers get what I call, again, micro-vibrational injuries of their fingers. I just believe and I see it all the time. So eventually I'll have to write about that. There's so much I have to write about. But that's one thing in our community that I see a lot. All right, so what I recommend is you rotate the fingers. And then the other thing, too, is consider this. But if you're tapping, I was going to say you could do something different with the stylus and the pad, but you have to click with the keyboard. Okay, well, I hope that helps, and let me know. All right? Okay, that was for E. Zodia, E_XODIA. And where are you from, E. Zodia? I'd like to know. Please let me know, guys, where you guys are from. I'm always curious about that. Okay, the next one is from, this is from Flow Nation. Oh, Flow Nathan. Glad to be here, man. I'm glad you're here also. The next one is from, is it Fat? No, it's from Nerdy Glitch. Hi, first time in one of your streams. Well, you know what? Glad to have you. If you have any questions, Nerdy Glitch, let me know. I'm happy to be of service. As a physician, specifically as an orthopedic surgeon, and as the gamers and eSports doctor, it's always great for me to interact with the gaming community because as much as I like teaching about staying healthy and fit, I also love just talking to gamers about the games that they love playing, why they love those, why there are others that they don't like as much. Because it reminds me of what I am. I'm kind of like a a guy I like to see people playing, but there are only like a few games I really love to actually be playing, which is interesting because when I was younger it was like everything, and now it's just a few things I really enjoy playing really intensely. All right, so again, Nerdy Glitch, glad that you're in the stream, and happy to have you with us. The next one is from Apple Play. Is it ever bad to have your arm resting on the desk while playing games? I have both of my arms on the desk while playing. So, yes, unless you... Okay, so let's say a few things about that. And this is from App Play. Because if you're constantly resting your forearms on the desk, there's a nerve that runs right here called the ulnar nerve that can affect numbness and tingling in your small finger and your ring finger. Also, the ulnar nerve also affects some of the intrinsic muscles of the hand also. So let's go over a few things about that. So if you're playing, make sure that your chair is high enough so that you don't have to rest your forearms while playing. Now, I will say this. All of us as gamers, we will do that for a little while. We'll let our forearms rest. But you really have to be conscious and aware to not do it for a long period of time. So if you do it for 5 or 10 minutes, okay, that's not bad. But if you're doing it for 8 or 9 hours while you're playing, not so good. So you really want to be aware of that. And the key is this, really. Just listen to your body. Be aware of your body. If you're doing something and it hurts, then don't do it. If you're having feelings of pain or numbness or tingling in your hand when you put your elbow or your wrist or your forearm in a certain way on your desk or your chair, then just avoid doing that. But more importantly, you want to get educated. So I want you to go to our YouTube station, which has all of these really well done, at least I believe they're well done by the grace of goodness, well done videos to really help you so that you won't have the problems that you're having. So let me know at Play if you do those things, and then let me know how you're doing and how you're progressing. All right. The next question is from Flo Nathan. Also, I have a random question I looked for online but couldn't find any answer. I play Osu. I like that game too. And after long sessions, when my fingers begin to ache, my chest starts aching too on the left side. Feels muscular. Is there any connection for that? That's a very interesting question. So I want to say some good and some not so good things about that. So number one, if you're having, okay, let's go over a lot because this is a complex question here. So if you're having chest pain is never a good thing. We always say in medicine, you may want to have pain in different places, but never in your chest, because chest pain can be a funny herald sign about cardiovascular disease. So there's something called angina, or some people call it angina, angina. People make a lot of thoughts about why they have chest pain, but if you're having episodic chest pain while you're playing, you definitely need to be seen by your doctor so that he or she can take a look at you. Now, with that said, chest pain can also be attributed to other things like heartburn. For example, if you're playing and eating a bag of, let's say, snacks or treats that's loaded with fat and sugar and dye and chemicals, that may be causing some gastroesophageal reflux or maybe some heartburn. So that's one thing that can cause that feeling of chest discomfort. Now, other things, though, is the way you're sitting when you're playing Osu. Are you sitting upright? Are you holding the tablet in your right hand or your left hand? That's the other thing I was going to ask. When you guys are giving me questions, it's so important for me also to let me know not only where you're from, but I also want to know, are you right-handed or are you left-handed? That's really important to me because things often will change up depending on which side you're using, the notebook or the mouse or the keyboard, of course. All right, so with that said, if you're having chest pain, number one, and if that, you should definitely be seen by a doctor. So they can do just a basic workup, like an EKG, echocardiogram, or an EKG, electroencephalogram, to see how you're doing. That's really, really important. And if you have any history of heart issues in your family too, That's important because coronary artery diseases, it's not a joke, not at all. Now, the other thing I was going to say about that too is with the chest discomfort. When you're sitting at your desk, are you leaning forward? Are you resting your arm down? Or resting your, some gamers will tell me that they play like this, where they're resting their chin on their arm with their hand near their chest and just using one hand like their right hand. So it's important to really be aware of your posture when you're playing a video game or any other sport, and when you're not, be aware of your posture because it just affects your health overall. It truly does. Okay, so I hope that helped, Flow Nation. So if you're having that pain, then make sure everything at your desk again is ergonomically balanced, that you're maybe changing the sensitivity of your mouse, that the keyboard is close enough to you also, you're not reaching very far to get to the keyboard. But go to that area that I have, that video I should say, about the ergonomic balance of your desk as a gamer. All right, now the next question is from That Good Sir. I have pain on the dorsal side of my wrist. I've had this for a very long time. Any tips specific for dorsal side pain? I also have radial pain, but not as often. Okay, so let's talk about the size of the hand so we have some clarity too about that. So this is the dorsum of the wrist, dorsum of the hand, just means the back. This is the volar surface of the hand. Often people say the palmar side or the front of the hand. But again, dorsal, back, volar or palmar side of the hand. All right, so now your question is you have pain on the dorsum of your wrist. So the dorsum of the wrist, you're absolutely right. This is extension. This is the neutral position of the wrist. This is extension of the wrist. This is flexion of the wrist. So if you're having pain on the dorsum of the wrist, which is the back of your wrist, then most likely that's associated with extensor tendonitis. Now, you can have true tendons that are inflamed, but you may also have just the tenosynovium, which are basically aligning over the extensor tendons of the hand that may be inflamed also. So you got to really be aware of that. So I recommend the following. Number one, do these stretches. So take a look. Hand up and hold it like we did for the inertial exercises. Hold that and then hold down for 30 seconds. You don't have to put a lot of extra resistance like you do with the ones for the elbow. And that's it. Now, the other thing I would say too is after you're gaming, to go and soak your hands in warm water. Now, if that doesn't help, you can also do what we call contrast baths, whereby you put your hands in warm water for about 2 to 3 minutes, then put your hands in cold water with ice cubes for 2 to 3 minutes, and then back to warm water, and then dry your hands and done. And I have some warm water exercises actually on the web. We have a video you might want to check out on YouTube that has all these great videos that you can do in a big bowl of water. That's really, really great. And I like doing those myself. So hopefully that'll help you. Let me know how you're doing too. And let me know where you're from also. All right, the next question. Okay, I hope that helps, That Good Sir. The next one is from The Dragon Ascent. Wow, that's a powerful name, The Dragon Ascent. Hi, do you have any exercises or techniques for proper rest after playing? After a night of playing, when I wake up, I feel like my hands are on fire. It goes away after some time, but I would love to get rid of it. Thank you in advance. All right, Dragon Ascent, thank you in advance. So let's go over a few things. So, night pain is really often associated with carpal tunnel. And let me tell you what happens. This is the way someone presents. It can be a gamer from the age of 15 to their mid or late 60s. They will say just what you said, that at night after they've gamed, their hands feel like they're on fire, or they feel they want to shake their hands out or stretch their fingers out. Their hands feel very tight or swollen, that their wrist hurts. So if you're having these problems, I recommend you try the following. Number one, do the gliding exercises. We talked about those, real simple, around, back, around, with your hands straight, around, back, around, a set of 10 to 20, then a slight fist, around and back, around. Now, the other issue here, if you're having what seems to be these mild issues with associated carpal tunnel syndrome, then the other thing that you might want to consider doing too is buying a Volar, V-O-L-A-R, a Volar wrist support, which you can get at any drugstore. Now, one thing you have to change though, because when you buy it from the drugstore, it's in a really bad position. And that is the splint will be in this position. It'll be really, really high. We call this the cock-up wrist position. Well, you don't want that. You want to take there's going to be a metal stay inside the splint. You want to bend it so that your hand is more straight. And what it does, and I want you to sleep with the brace on also, because what it does is, often when we sleep, many of us will go into this fetal position like this when we're sleeping. So your wrist may be in a flex position for several hours while you sleep, which puts increased pressure on the carpal canal. Therefore, increased pressure on your median nerve, which is inside the carpal canal, which is being compressed upon by the transverse carpal ligament. So, with that said, it sounds complicated, but it really isn't. The bottom line is, if you have wrist pain like this, especially numbness and tingling at night, or pain at night, you want to avoid flexing your wrist like this a lot. That's the key. You want to keep your hand in a position of function, neutral position, basically. All right, I hope that helps. Again, do those exercises, the gliding exercises, continue to do the inertial exercises. Then you can put your hands in warm water also. That will help you. And get the splint. These are all things I think will help you on your road to recovery. And of course, physical therapy and or acupuncture. If it persists, go to your doctor to see what they think about what's going on too. If you're in LA, of course, as I've said earlier, come by and I'll be honored to take care of you. All right. The next one is from, Isodia. Oh, I'm from Brazil. Oh, great, great. I tell you, Brazil, I got to get there also. Great, 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 great country. You know, I wanted to be there for the Olympics, but because of work, could not make that happen. But I got to get there too. Yeah, got to do that. Okay, so let's talk about Isodia from Brazil. Thanks for the answer. I started doing what you said. Instinctively, when I noticed my middle finger was getting too tired, I would start doing the exercise that you recommend. Awesome, Isodia. That's the way to go. You know, one thing I want to say, guys, so important. Listen to your body. If your body is hurting or you have pain, then just believe that you're in touch with yourself enough to know that, hey, I'm going to do something different. You know, that old phrase that you do the same thing, you get the same results, that's true. So if you're hurting, do a different exercise. If you're playing a game that your body doesn't seem to like, well, try to do the things like change the mouse sensitivity, change your keyboard, use a mouse track, use a tracking ball, I should say, use a different type of mouse, maybe use your right hand instead of your left. Do things to minimize the repetitive stress that one hand is getting all the time. That's the ticket. You know, for gamers and for our whole community, our bodies take such a hit from gaming. You know, our necks, you know, our lower backs, our hands, our wrists, our shoulders. You know, gaming is not a joke. It's not for the lighthearted. It really is. It's an intense sport. It just is. All right. So next question. So Isodia, thank you again in Brazil. Another place I got to get to. Hopefully there'll be some E3 conference there, and I can come and hang out with you there. All right, the next question is from M6D Task, and that's M6DTSK. Are you familiar with the CSGO player JDM? Thoughts on his posture? Okay, I'd have to see the player that you're talking about specifically, because when I analyze posture, often with the players, I will have them come in the office. They literally have to bring all of their gear, everything that they use. I want to see everything, and then we set it up, and I see how they play. And when I look and evaluate their posture, I look at their equipment. Is the equipment very good? Is it old? Is it just totally out of date? Is it broken? You know, sometimes I've had players come in, you guys wouldn't believe this, who are missing like 8 or 9 of the keys from the keyboard. And I'll ask myself, why are you not going to get this replaced? And they'll tell me, I just haven't had the time, you know, I just can't, I'll do it later. And then I'll ask, well, how long have you been missing keys? And sometimes, and this is not a joke, they'll tell me, well, I haven't had keys on this one for about 5 to 6 years. Can you believe that? And of course, I let them know, hey, I want you to invest in yourself. So investing in yourself is investing in better equipment. So get a better keyboard. Often I get asked, well, Dr. Levi, what is the keyboard that you recommend? What is the mouse that you recommend? I have not endorsed any keyboard or mouse yet because I think many of them need to go through at least three or four more iterations to be better, especially for the gaming community. So in time, of course, I'll just have to design my own mouse, which I think will be the most beneficial for gamers. As a hand doctor, as a hand surgeon, I can do that, and I'll have to do it eventually. Our schedule, my whole team is just like jam-packed, but grateful to do it because I love being a part of this community. That's just the bottom line. All right, so next question is from, so again, I want to, M6D task, I want to make sure I answer your question. So again, I wanted to say this. If you send me pictures of JDM, I see his posture, then I can tell you more, all right? I can help you with that. But his posture is not as important as your posture. That's what I want to ask you about. How's your posture? Is it correct? I want you to look at yourself. Don't worry about the other guys so much as worry about you, and I can help you. Because why? You take you wherever you go. So I want you to be healthy. And no matter what JDM's posture is, I want to help you to have the best posture. It's actually M6D task. I like that. And just let me know where you're from also, M6D task. I'd be curious. All right, another question from Apple. Good to know. I rest my form on the desk a lot. Never really had any pain, but I'll have that in mind. I'll try to raise my chair a little bit too. Thanks. Okay, Apple, let me know how that goes for you. My job, of course, I think one of the reasons why I was even born was to help our community be safe, help our community be healthy, and help our community really have a career in gaming, the gaming community that's extended without any medical issues. All right. Now, next question is from, this is from Ian J. Wilson 16. Hey, Ian. That's one of my favorite names, actually, Ian. I've always said if I had a son, I would name him Ian. There's another name that I love. And if I had a daughter, I would name her Madison or Zoe. I love those two names. And Zena. I love Zena. I think that's a beautiful name. Okay, so enough of the names, huh? All right, so this is from Ian J. Wilson 16. My streams have a stretch break every 15 minutes. It's fun. You know what? That's awesome, Ian. I love hearing that. That is fantastic. Let me know what your stream is also. I'd like to know. And I can maybe watch it or maybe have you come on our show and be a part of our team, and like we did with Happy Stick. I got to tell you, Happy Stick from Osu was just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. It was like just a breath of fresh air having him on the show. He was energetic. He was on it. I mean, he's one of the top Osu guys in the world. And Osu, I tell you, that's a game I have to try to master. It is tough. I mean, even the easy one, I don't think is that easy, actually. But Ian J. Wilson 16, great job. I'm glad to hear that you're doing the stretch breaks and you're doing them every 16 minutes. That's great. And let me know, if my stretches from my YouTube channel are helping you. And if not, please go to the channel and subscribe, and then let your listeners and viewers know too, because my goal is, how do I get the word out to all the gamers in the world, internationally, globally, to get them to go to the website, to go to YouTube, and just to look at all these videos that can help them to prevent any injuries that they may acquire, especially from, especially from RSI. And repetitive stress injuries that we're so prone to in this community. We really, really are. So I have to do my part to help. So, and let me know where you're from too, Ian J. Wilson 16. Flo Nathan back again from London. I've had a chest x-ray and multiple EKGs, so they assume it isn't cardiac. Glad to hear that, young man. They put it down to anxiety for the cause of it, but I'm not certain on that personally. Well, let me tell you, anxiety is very interesting. Everybody goes through some anxiety in their life during whatever's going on. Everybody goes through some anxiety. And if you have anxiety, that's okay. The goal is to really do your best to cope with it, not blame yourself for it, and then to, talk to someone about it if you do feel anxious about something. So often individuals, I take care of several gamers who have bipolar disorder, who also have depression as well as anxiety. And I always remind them that they did nothing wrong. Why people develop this, we don't know. Some of those disease processes are psychologic challenges we think are due to genetics, but we're really not sure why some people develop these problems and some don't. But the bottom line, I want to say this. If you're having anxiety, number one, don't feel bad about it. Number two, talk to someone about it. And number three, do the things that we talked about with respect to your chest pain issues. Modify your desk, modify your posture. Make sure you're doing the stretches every 15 minutes to be aware of your body. And then, of course, make sure that you're eating properly and exercising daily. Exercise is non-negotiable. Exercise is a way of life, not just for myself as an athlete, but for all esports athletes and gamers. We have to exercise. For myself, I consider myself the consummate nerd. I really am that when it comes to everything from comic books. Also, too, I want to know, what do you guys think about the I have so much on my head right now. What do you guys think about Guardians of the Galaxy? You guys think about that movie? Because I saw it, I loved it. I thought Volume 1 was better, but I liked Volume 2. Then Wonder Woman is coming out, of course. Actually came out this past week. I want to see that. And then we have, Spider-Man Homecoming. That's coming up. And we have Thor, another one coming out this year. Then Justice League will be out soon. It's going to be just amazing. Justice League, you got to think, we got all these superheroes, from Aquaman to Wonder Woman to Batman, Superman, and of course the Flash. I think the Flash is not the guy from Netflix. It's going to be another guy, I believe. But I can't wait for that too. So I'm a comic book nerd. I just am. And guess what? Proud of it. All right, let's go to the next question here. This is from Flo Nathan. I want to say, you said that we talked about the anxiety. So think about that, Flo Nathan, about talking to someone if you do have anxiety. And if not, if you don't think it's anxiety, you know your body, then that's fine too. And also be aware of what you're eating, because there's some foods that you can eat or drink that can also give you anxiety. For example, if you take things that have a lot of caffeine in it, that can actually cause some anxiety. If you drink some of these energy drinks that are on the market that are loaded with caffeine and mawang and all these other incredible ephedrine, all these things can really get your heart rate up and can also make you anxious. All right, so be aware of that. Make sure that when you're gaming, have a big thing of water, a pitcher of water right on the table. Many of the gamers will tell me, hey, Dr. Levi, I'm just not going to have the water there because I don't want to keep getting up, going to the bathroom. You know what? It's okay. It's a game that we're playing. The water, do that to your body. Your body will appreciate it. All right. So next question is from, That Good Sir again. That Good Sir, do you have any tips for lifting boxes above the head? I have a job where this is unavoidable. What do you think the best way to lift boxes above my head while putting the least amount of strain on my wrist? I've always been curious. That's a great question. I'll show you. I'm going to back up a little bit. When you're lifting a box, there are several things that you should do. The first is make sure you bend your knees. The second is when you're lifting a box and holding a box, don't let your wrist go back like this. Hyperextend your wrist. You want to keep your hands in neutral position and just lift up without having the box bring your wrist back, hyperextending your wrist. It's really important to avoid hyperextension. That's the ticket there. So again, bend your knees, grab the box, lift the box up without hyperextending your wrist back. So that should help you. The other thing too is if you're doing a lot of lifting, if your job, for example, causes for you to do it, is if your job has a lot of lifting of heavy items, be it boxes or other things that you have to lift a lot of. The other thing too is make sure that when you're working out, when you're exercising, that you're doing a lot of core work, specifically hyperextension exercises for your back to strengthen your lower back, as well as to do abdominal strengthening and core exercises, because this will also help you to avoid any injury to your lower back. A healthy, strong core is critical, especially if you're doing a lot of lifting, pushing, or pulling on your job. All right? So I hope that helps you. And where were you from, That Good Sir? Oh, That Good Sir, thanks. I love the contrast vast and help temporarily also from Missouri. Oh, you're from Missouri. Great state. Great Missouri state. Is Missouri the show me state? I think it is, huh? All right. The next is from, give me 1 second. is from Sarcasm. That's pretty neat name, Sarcasm, a take on sarcasm. Hey, Dr. Levi, what would you recommend for a constant soreness on my keyboard arm? Feels like I just lifted weights all the time, even when I haven't. Thanks. Okay, well, let's go with that. So if you're having pain on the keyboard arm, you want to think about the following. These are very simple to do. Number one, is the keyboard too far away from the edge of the desk, whereby you're reaching forward and resting your forearm on the desk? Forearm resting is just, I want you to really do your best to avoid that, because that can cause compression injury on your forearm. The other thing, of course, is to make sure that when you're playing, that your elbows are free and at 90 degrees, and that you're sitting upright, that you're not leaning forward like this. That's the ticket. You want to really try to avoid that. That's really, really important. That's really important. All right. So I hope that helps you. Okay, Sarcasm. The next one is from, this is Actress 27. Hey, Dr. Levi. Oh, greetings from Iceland. Oh, I got to tell you, Iceland is so awesome to hear that. You know, we met for the Special Olympics 2 years ago. You know, I was my team and I was the medical director, by the grace of goodness, for the entire Special Olympics, International Special Olympics. We had over like 7,000 athletes. And I actually took care of some of the athletes from Iceland. And we even had plans of trying to go there and visit. And they had to get some things approved, and we never heard back from them yet. But Iceland is another place I like to go. You know, one of my favorite artists there, I think one of the most famous actually is Björk, whom I love. I love her music, and you know, she has interesting style. She has her own trend in style making and clothes and everything. I've always thought that I bet she'd be great at designing furniture or clothes. She has an extraordinary mind, extraordinarily talented woman. So that's Björk. So thumbs up for Björk, of course, and for Iceland, 2 thumbs up. All right, guys. The next one is from Vetox. Vetox, again, was from Finland. Do you mind if I ask the second question? You can ask me as many questions as you want, Vetox. I'm here to be of service. If you got 5 questions or 20, I will do my best to answer all of them. All right. So the question is, that has been minor problem through a couple of years now, came to my mind from that one question about elbow earlier. Okay, but what's the question, Vetox? So hold on one second. I'm trying to find your question, make sure I didn't scroll through this and miss it. So Vetox, I don't see you had a second question. I don't see it. So if you send it through, I will definitely answer it. I don't see it though. I don't see it. Okay. So next question I'll get to is this is from Outersham. The question is, thank you. Oh, okay. Thank you for all the great videos. Your video on Cubital tunnel syndrome has really helped me. Wow. I tell you, I always feel so happy when I get a comment that someone is taking the time, number one, to go to the site and subscribe and be a part of the community that we're building. But more importantly, it makes me even happier when someone says they did the exercises and they're using a video and that has been very effective for them. That's just spectacular. All I can say is I'm really happy, and thanks for your comment. I'm very grateful to be of service to our community. Okay, let me scroll down here and see some other questions. This is from King Pitt _93. Hi, Dr. Levi. First of all, I'd like to thank you too, for all the advice and exercise you provided us. I do the exercise and they help me a lot, especially for warming up before playing CSGO. I love hearing that. That's fantastic. You know, CSGO, I actually tried playing this a while ago. I don't know why I have not gotten back to it, and I actually like that game, but I find myself for some reason now, I really love just watching. I love watching and seeing how someone strategizes as they're playing. I keep wondering what's going to happen. Will I become someone who's just a watcher, and not playing as much, like for example, Overwatch, I love playing Mei. Mei is my favorite character there. So I don't want to start talking about Overwatch. I'll talk about that all day. So let's go. The next question is from, hold on one second. Give me 1 second. This is from M6D Task, TSK. Dr. Levi, do you know any good ankle stretches? I know that is not exactly gaming related as far as exercise go, but it would be helpful. Actually, I do. Don't forget, I'm an orthopedic surgeon, so I take care of the entire body. My subspecialty, my training is in hand, wrist, elbow, and shoulder. And then my own self, I always call it my self-proclaimed specialty, is just working with athletes, because athletes trust me because I'm an athlete. And that's eSports athletes, gamers, as well as, traditional athletes like football players, baseball players, or soccer, another game I like. And skydiving, which I love. I take care of the whole body. So ankles, I have a video on ankle stretches, on proprioception and ankle stretches. So if you go to that video, go to YouTube and you find it and let me know. And the next time we're on, or if you want to come back later today, if we have time, let me know if that video helps you. But I have ankle exercises on there, and they're specifically for proprioception exercises. All right. Now, guys, I know I only have like 2 minutes or so. Let me go. I want to try to get in maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3 more. I saw something here from MCD Task about Batman or Superman. I'm not sure what the question was. On sarcasm, he's asking about Justice League. I can't wait to see that too. I'm hyped about that also. Did anybody see, what did you guys think about Guardians of the Galaxy, or did anyone see Wonder Woman yet? What do you guys think about Doctor Strange? That's been one of my favorites so far. Second to the Avengers Civil War. That was fantastic because that was Black Panther was in that. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be the Black Panther comic book character. I thought he was just cool. It was either him or Batman, whom I think is just amazing. As well as Doctor Strange too. I think Doctor Strange is my number one, just because of the fantasy of what he can do. All right, I have another question from. Wait a second. From Flo Nathan. Thanks for that, man. Really appreciate that response. I'd say my main problem is hypochondria, health anxiety. So obviously these chest pains and stuff are very worrying for me. My doctors also seem pretty dismissive of any symptom due to this kind of sucks. Thanks a lot for your help. Well, Flo Nathan, you should never be discounted. Anyone who has anxiety or even hypochondrosis, it's nothing to worry about. The key is, I always say to some of my patients who also have this, is number 1, to relax. Number 2, to not feel self-judged. And number 3, to take care of yourself and make sure you're exercising, being mindful of your diet. And one other thing I was going to say, too, I was just on a plane this morning. I got back from San Jose. I did the Spartan race in San Jose, the Spartan Super Race, raising money to stop homelessness here in California. And my charity, we raised over $50,000, which is really fantastic. So I want to give a shout out to the Phoenix Effect Gym here in Los Angeles, because my teammates and I raised a lot of money for charity. It was a great, great event. So I want to say to everyone, consider joining some type of charity that you really love and helping as much as you can. Not only with money, but also with your talents and with your gifts and with your time. They often need volunteers. So just something to think about. I love volunteering because I think it allows us, and to be involved with charities, it allows us to really be in contact with our humanity. All right. So everybody, I hope this was helpful. We just done our hour. Now I have to go and do some other work. Let me know what you guys thought about the stream, and thanks a lot. And let me know that you guys prefer the 12 o'clock on Sunday versus the 7 p.m. on Saturday Pacific Standard Time. I want to hear what you all think, because we want to do what's going to give you guys the greatest access to what I can offer. All right? So it's Dr. Levi. You know my famous words. I hope you can hear them. Game on. I'll see you guys back in either 1 week or next month. We're going to try to play around with this time. But again, the most important thing that I'd really like you all to help me with is let me know what time works best, you think. Do you think stick to the 7 o'clock on Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I like, but I don't want to do it for my convenience. I want to do it for everyone else's. My team, we're here to be of service to you. Or 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays. So let me know. All right, take care, everybody. It's Dr. Levi. I'll see you all soon. Bye.